The first K-pop thought is that, I watched an unpopular K-pop opinions video from a channel that said, "Welcome to the channel where we dive deep into all things K-pop," and I found it kinda funny because the opinions this channel gave despite saying that, were some opinions that I've heard before by others. So what deep dive into all things K-pop are they doing when some of their opinions were just surface level, not unpopular anymore opinions marketed as, my unpopular K-pop opinions? Your deep dive was barely past shallow waters, and so your opinions are just the top, the unpopular K-pop opinions iceberg where I'd group you with people sharing the same thoughts and not really trying to have their own thoughts. And yes, some of the opinions you've shared in that video have been shared before, and if I had $1 for every, not every group needs a rapper, and line distributions do matter, opinions that I've seen amongst others, I'd make quite a lot of money. I'm trying to find the dive deep into all things K-pop in this video, but I cannot see it at all. Please show me, because I may be blind since all I'm seeing are nothing new opinions that I wished would just leave unpopular K-pop opinions already, because we already know what the responses to these opinions are gonna be, since people who share these opinions 9 times out of 10 share the same thoughts to these opinions and nobody really tries to switch it up where they're sharing the overused opinion, but giving their own completely unsaid original take on it. Nobody is doing that, and this K-tube channel is doing the same. The next K-pop thought is that, okay, so with Mr. K-pop, now the K-pop spy, and them being exposed for stealing opinions from Reddit for their unpopular K-pop opinions, it's becoming clear that their opinions and takes and everything are stolen, because they're uploading long 10-minute plus videos almost every day, and every time I search up K-pop opinions and get their content, one video will show 2 days ago, another will show 1 day ago, and that shows that they're stealing because nobody comes up with new takes that quickly. Even with authentic channels who think of their own opinions like Rosieri focusing solely on opinions-based content, they don't upload new opinions videos that quickly and actually take a couple of days, maybe weeks till their next upload. Even looking at me, there are instances where I've had an overflow of thought and uploaded new opinions videos close to each other. But unlike the K-pop spy, it was just 1 to 2 videos and not like multiple videos uploaded being 10 minutes plus long and uploaded so close to the last video, and even if I had an overflow of thought, it would lead to many opinions and K-pop thoughts that I would either make into a really long video, which I did with last upload, or maybe try to space them out into multiple shorter videos for each upload. The K-pop spy has finally made me realize more about their thievery because of how quickly they upload and how long their videos are. I'm surprised there are even a lot of opinions out there for them to steal. The next K-pop thought is that, I may have talked about this before, I don't remember because I share a lot of thoughts on unpopular K-pop opinions, but unpopular K-pop opinions in the form of shorts or one sentence is unnecessary for the most part, because with shorts, most shorts channels just say their opinion in short forms similarly to one sentence opinions without actually explaining anything, and I don't like that. Yes, I've dabbled into one-sentence opinions before, but I do prefer having to explain my thoughts in full detail instead of just saying something like, K-pop is great, for example, because I would rather want people to know why I think it's great. One-sentence opinions in most shorts channels K-pop opinions don't explain the why part of the opinion, and that just seems like a basic idea not fully explored. Also, people can get even more lazier with their opinions for views. Because with long-formed opinions people have used the same overused opinions and thoughts over and over again. But with short-formed and one-sentence opinions, they can just overuse opinions even more. But in a shorter way without giving any context, which makes the video short even more lackluster and mid. Since originally they were lazy by just overusing opinions and not giving their own 2 cents and just repeating the same things as others as if they're going round in circles. But with one-sentence opinions and short-formed opinions it gets even more lazier, where you can just overuse an opinion for views without providing any context, saving you the trouble of actually explaining the opinion, which gives you more freedom to overuse as many thoughts as you like and act like it's your own opinions when it's not, since the explanation step is skipped completely. The next K-pop thought is that, people who make unpopular K-pop opinions and they do not share original thoughts and they overuse thoughts all the time, I request you to not make opinions videos because you're not cut out for making opinions videos. If you're overusing opinions already used many times before, it shows that you're not cut out for commentary-based or opinions-based content where you have to say something of your own to make it your video. You're better off just making fun content that doesn't involve you using any thinking which you've never had at all, so just stick to that please and just continue making fun videos since your thinking process is catching dust from the lack of usage, and leave opinions for people who actually make opinions for opinions and not for the views. Just stick to your harmless content and leave the thinking to people who do actually use their brain for the purposes that we have it for. Thank you. Focus on the editing of your favorite songs, videos, which is much more fitting for you since you're better at that than trying to make original opinions which you clearly don't do at all. The next K-pop thought is that, I wonder, when many people share things on a particular topic. Like for example about Haeun from Baby Monster's overdancing or anything related to NewJeans' current lawsuit, and people are like sharing the same thoughts that could be agreeable by many. The many people sharing these thoughts, do they share it because they mean it, or do they just share it because of it being a topic that is talked about a lot, so the person sharing that opinion only shared it because it's a topic with a lot of attention? I want to know how many K-tubers sharing opinions on those topics actually have the same thoughts as others because they also think the same and agree or disagree in the same way, since I'm not sure if everyone talking about these topics actually are honest and true in their words. Do you really care? Or you do share it for it being popularly talked about, which in turn could give you the views? The next K-pop thought is that, so, I watched a reacting to y'all's unpopular K-pop opinions short, and one opinion being reacted to said, and I quote, not liking a song or group doesn't mean they're bad, but I disagree. There are artists not necessarily K-pop only but other languages as well where it's a rare instance for me to like their music, and when I do, I get surprised. Sometimes, there are artists where I listened to their music, didn't vibe and didn't care for them because I thought the music was bad for me, and in this case a great example would be Gravity, until Sumi, a K-tuber and friend of mine, got me to see their amazing songs and now I love them a lot. La Seraphim and Ive are other great examples where despite liking some songs, they're more on the bad music side for me, and so I don't really care enough to wanna actively check out their comebacks because I anticipated it. I just listen when I'm like, since I'm checking out these groups' new album, might as well do La Seraphim and or Ives as well. Not liking one song of an artist doesn't automatically make the artist bad, but it could certainly lead you down the path of you finding them bad if the music doesn't hit in the future, and the reason why I find a group bad is because of me not liking them and their music, so I think they're musically terrible and slowly forget about them. Not liking a song or group can definitely make the group bad if it's in your personal opinion, because the group or song can be objectively good, just personally not for you. Also, there are artists who, if they have one bad song, especially if you look at Nugu artists in K-pop from smaller labels, if these Nugus released bad music, there are K-pop stans who'll see it, not like it and not wanna stick around to see if their music improves and become better. They might find the group bad from that one song. Because of that reason, amongst others, not liking a song or group could make them bad, and you cannot say they're not bad because of that since subjective thoughts exist. The next K-pop thought is that, people who say, idols are prettier in their own way, are just sugarcoating things because they're just using basic knowledge default responses that everyone in the world uses, not this particular sentence, but they do say that things like, no, you're equally as pretty, or something similar. Someone says certain idols are prettier, and most K-pop stans would disagree to say all idols are pretty, which is not really honest thoughts, because that is an answer that instantly would come to mind because it's attached to people's brains when talking about beauty. I mean, yes, I don't condone calling people ugly or hating on their looks, but I want people to honestly speak their mind without saying a response that feels like a response an 8-ball would give you because it only has a limited number of responses that it can give you. I want more honesty and not just responses of what you think you're supposed to say. As I mentioned earlier that everyone in the world says this, it's not only K-pop related, but I just don't like it because you're keeping your actual thoughts locked up just to say some fake response you think you're expected to give, because you probably think that saying otherwise wouldn't be the right thing to do, so you just say that default response even if you don't mean it. The next K-pop thought is that, I watched an unpopular K-pop opinions short, and it said, unpopular K-pop opinions because I woke up and chose violence, and I'm here like, no girl, you woke up and chose overused opinions because to me all the opinions you used were overused opinions that I've seen before time and time again. The only violence you're causing is comments that could come from people like me who'll tell you how boring you are because there is nothing of violence in your opinions even if you were joking, and that you're just like everyone else not worth subscribing to. It's funny how K-tubers and K-pop shorts use such titles as if they're slay titles when all they're doing is eating the same dish again and again. What do you think the opinions you share are actually doing other than just being spread further because of them being the same overshared opinions? You didn't wake up and choose violence, because you can't actually do that with thoughts that might have already done many different times what you came to do, even if your title is a joke. When you have actual violence to choose, as in like what the Shorts channel said, you know where to find me, at JBCD. The next K-pop thought is that, I saw an opinion that said, and I quote, Cosmic is really underrated, and I think they should disband since they're not that popular like before, but I really don't want them to disband, and they're talking about Red Velvet, by the way, for anyone who didn't get it. This opinion is laughable because what do you mean, underrated and they're not as popular as before? Their MV for Cosmic has 38 million views and their Spotify streams for Cosmic is 61 million streams. That does not make the song underrated or Red Velvet less popular than before. Red Velvet have amassed a lot of fans and streams and popularity enough that they're still doing well enough that they can still sell better than almost 95% of the industry since the first generation. Do you know how many groups come and go with having no awards, no good sales, no good views and streams for their music, and they've remained Nugu for their whole careers? Do you know how many groups have come and gone in K-pop that only the Nugu deep diggers know their names? I've said this in my New Thought Bubble video too. Red Velvet are popular that you can ask almost any K-pop stan about them, and they know Red Velvet by name, by member names, and also can name more than one song. There are Nugu groups who come and go with songs having barely any streams on Spotify with monthly listeners that are barely 500 or 1K or even less. Red Velvet's Cosmic, as I said, has 61 million views on Spotify, and the B-sides on the album are between 1 million and 5 million, which is actually really good. Lots of Nugus would kill to get even past 1 million views on YouTube, and you're out here saying that Red Velvet's Cosmic is underrated. Like, how is 38 million YouTube views underrated to you? You, my friend, have never seen a Nugu artist at all, and so you don't know what actual underrated is, because there are Nugu artists in K-pop who have MVs and songs on YouTube barely passing 10k views or even 5k views, and you're out here calling a 38 million viewed MV and a 61 million Spotify streamed song underrated. This is another reason why I hate not just K-pop stans but every music listener in general who calls a song underrated when it's not, because if a song has a lot of views then it's definitely getting its recognition. The last K-pop thought is that, I saw another K-pop Shorts channel make an opinion similar to the Red Velvet one, saying, and I quote, IVE are actually so underrated. I know they're not Nugu, but they deserve more. They're so talented and have a non-skip discography. Again, what's with calling popular groups and decent or popular viewed songs underrated? IVE are mega successful and they have 6 songs on Spotify with over 100 million streams, Haeun with 80 million plus streams, Accendio with 42 million plus streams, their song with David Guetta having 28 million plus streams, their song with Saweetie having 30 million plus streams, Off the Record having 78 million plus streams, Either Way having 57 million plus streams, and their latest comeback with Rebel Heart having 33 million plus streams and Attitude having 20 million plus streams. Their B-sides also do well with streams as well. Tell me how these numbers show that IVE are so underrated. Because from the looks of things, their Japanese releases so far don't have much views, but their music overall does amazing. These are numbers Nugus would kill to have, and you're out here calling them so underrated. Do you even know how many Nugus come into K-pop having no fans at all? Meaning that they might have a small handful of people or even less than a handful of people who know them and stan them, but you're out here saying a group like IVE, who every K-pop stan at this point knows exist because of how popular they are underrated. Do you even hear yourself? IVE debuted in 2021 and their debut was a success. IVE debuted amongst other groups like Asia Girls, Rhea, Fairy Blue, Lily Lily, HDNG, WAO, WOW, Megamax, and many more unsuccessful groups that you don't even know who they are, and if I told you about them, you would be like, who? You need to sit down and learn the definition of the word underrated, because many K-pop stans know who IVE are, and if they listed down K-pop debuts of 2021 that they know about, you'll most definitely find IVE's 11 in the list, but will you find Manito's Toratori Dotori, SRZN's Do You Wanna Blow Up Fresh? JT and Marcus's Dear You, Sigma's Higher, and many other more debuts? No, because they're not popular like IVE for people to list them down unless they're like me and actively searching up Nugu groups. People need to stop calling popular groups and decent to popular viewed songs underrated when these people wouldn't even know true underrated artists if it hit them right in the face. Also, this is why not every K-pop stan should have a K-pop channel if they're gonna say dumb shit like this.